I spent years telling myself I'll start one day. I thought I needed more time, more money, more skills. But the truth is, I was just scared. I was scared that if I tried, it still wouldn't be good enough. Scared of seeing my dreams up close and realizing I couldn't reach it. But somewhere along the way, I realized the cost of not trying was worse than failing. If you're watching this, then that means I finally got up the courage to press the record button. And yes, you're basically in my garage right now. This is my little workspace. It's dusty, it's hot as hell, there's no AC in here, and it's small. But this is where it all begins. You see, I'm about to try something I've never done before. I just turned 43 and I gave myself 1 year to make art my full-time career. No backup plan, no trust fund, no guaranteed sales, just me. This space and whatever happens next. But this garage, this right here is where it all begins. This is where I'm starting everything over. And as you can see, everything is just sitting on this table. I just moved in and I'm excited about it. And at the same time, I'm nervous, I'm kind of scared about it. And there's a lot of stuff that I don't know, but that's what the beauty about this is. Just jumping in, diving head first and just starting. Now, most of you may have some questions about, well, you've been doing YouTube for X amount of years. Why haven't you started? There's a lot of stopping and starting going on, and I'm tired of doing it. So I'm giving myself 1 full year, but we'll have a discussion about that. But first, I got to get this garage whipped into shape to have it ready, YouTube studio ready, if that makes any sense. And actually get some art rolling, get it cranked out and get things going. So let's get this on the way and we'll have a one-on-one discussion as things go on. All right, so here's the thing. I've been making art most of my life, off and on. Sometimes I took it serious and sometimes I didn't. You know, life happened, work happened, and for a while, I eventually stopped. And not to mention, in the process of doing YouTube, I failed to stay consistent, but I'll save that for another video. But you know, lately, something's been bugging me. And it's to the point to where I couldn't shake the feeling, like almost like I'm running out of time, but not in some dramatic way. Just like, man, I actually gotta go for this. This is my last shot. I've been having those types of thoughts about it. And honestly, I don't know if some of you ever had that thought, but I have decided to just give myself 365 days. I'm giving myself 1 year, not to go viral, not to get rich, just to see what happens if I stop holding myself back. Because as an artist, being held, even as a content creator, we can be our own worst enemy. We can stand in our own way and make things harder for ourselves than they actually need to be. You know, it's strange how heavy the first step feels. Not the months ahead, not the unknown future, just the moment. The moment of standing in that place, deciding to start. Because starting means I'm making a promise to myself that I can't quietly break. I cannot quit. It means every doubt, every excuse, every reason I told myself to wait loses its power the second that I begin. But to be honest, man, I'm tired of holding my dreams hostage to fear. I'm tired of holding myself back. This is the year I see what happens when I finally break those chains and set myself free. All right, so where am I starting? Now, let's be real. I'm not starting without anything, but depending on the platform, it can be pretty close. Now, I have around 285 followers on Instagram, 10,900 subs on YouTube, but no full-time art income. That's important. And not to mention, no pipeline, just scattered ideas and some type of momentum based on certain videos. And maybe that's the point. This challenge isn't about being perfect. It's about testing myself to be consistent at putting out artwork time after time. It's about showing the real path to building something from zero. Well, almost zero, but you get my point. I almost didn't make this video because I was afraid that once I post this video, then it's real, and from that moment, the clock starts. Now there's pressure, there's accountability, and I can't hide anymore. But what if I fail? What if nobody cares? But I realize the fear in staying stuck is way worse than the fear of just failing in front of everybody in public. Does that make any sense to you? Because it made sense when I was just thinking about it, but I think that you get exactly what I'm saying. Now, a couple months back, I got confused as to the artwork that I was doing, the style of art that I was doing, which acrylic paint is good and I still love it, but I wanted to take things a step further. Now, this part is not about why I'm doing art for a whole year trying to build up my art career, but this is important. So the art that I was doing, I really wasn't happy about it, and because I felt that I was trying to do art just to please the algorithm, just to go viral, so to speak, and doing art that I figured that everybody else would like, I really wasn't liking it. Now, you probably hear me say this in another video, but if you are OG of the channel, you know where I started. And that's when I had a talk or a FaceTime with one of my art comrades, Chucklee, and he actually, dude is so cool, down to earth. He put me on game about oil painting. And I'm happy to say, Chuck, I am getting started in oil painting. I have all my paints and I'm putting everything together. So appreciate that, Chuck. Now, I know some people will look at my starting point and think, this is not so bad. And sure, I got a few followers, a few subscribers, but followers don't pay bills. Likes don't buy time. And a half-built dream is still unfinished. I'm not chasing numbers for the sake of it. I'm chasing the ability to wake up every day and do this without wondering how I'll keep my lights on, how I'll pay my rent. And to get there, I have to treat every day like it matters, because honestly, it does. Time to hook up this bad boy. All right. So now there are some things that I'm going to be doing to track my progress. And just like any business, I'm going to track my progress in quarters of a year. So some things that I'll be tracking is the growth of my YouTube journey and my ability to bring quality and consistent commissions that I bring in. Things like sharing the process online and how it's received towards you guys. So some of this stuff I've done before, as far as like sharing the process of certain things that I do, and things like selling prints or growing a quality email list. Now that is important if you're trying to start a fully fledged art business and trying to build it up from the ground. And the biggest thing, create quality products that support me and my art full time. So, but first, let me get this bad boy set up, and let me go ahead and set up, and I'll actually dive into it and explain to you what my plan is for the first month of starting this journey. Let me get this done. record. Alright, so one of the biggest things that I wanted to do when I started this journey, my whole plan was to be more consistent and come out with videos every week or every other week. The name of the game, I just wanted to be more consistent. Now, for most of you guys that's actually been viewing this channel, that hasn't been a thing over here. And also, when you're not consistent, you can't bring in multiple people to buy your art. You can't generate a lot of views when it comes to your whole art business that you're trying to start up. Another thing that I wanted to do, I wanted to create a solid product that I know that I can actually sell time after time. And when doing things the way I was doing before, man, that just wasn't even the thing. But now, since starting this journey, trying to be a full-time artist in 1 year, it pressures me. It puts a lot of pressure on me, and it actually makes me focus on precise things that I need to be focused on. Exactly like starting a flagship product when it comes to my whole art career, so to speak. So whether that may be a full-fledged painting to where I can sell time after time, or whether it may be a digital product, something like a whole thing about starting a whole journey for it to be a full-time artist in 1 year, or something like digital art pencils when it comes to Procreate, things like that. And one of the biggest things out of this whole thing that I want to do is something like create a creative habit of doing things to put myself in the creative form. Every time I wanted to come out with a video, or every time I wanted to paint, do something, I want to be more consistent at being creative and doing this, trying to be full-time, forcing myself to come out with a video every week, every other week, forcing myself to do artwork consistently. I learned to create a creative habit from doing that, if that makes any sense. Now, and for me, the last one is actually being more consistent when it comes to my artwork, as you heard me say, but that is a skill that can't be taught. You actually have to learn to develop that skill. Now, honestly, I'll be lying if I tell you that starting up this journey didn't scare the hell out of me. I mean, but when I actually put this out, it forces me to be mindful of what I'm doing. It forces me to think more logically when it comes to my own decision maker, when it comes to trying to be creative, trying to be a full-time artist. And it's not just a part of the art. It's not what you do when it comes to whether it may be oil painting or digital art or acrylic painting. It's the point of being consistent, because once it's out there, you exposed to everybody. Just like right now, I'm exposed to you, to where you can actually see and critique everything that I'm doing. You holding me to a standard. And that's the most scariest, vulnerable part that any artist can ever be in. And I think it's more the part of just showing up. Even when life sucks, or even when life is just going all wrong, you still gotta show up every week, every other week, coming out with videos, consistently doing artwork. Even when you feel invisible, even when you don't feel good enough. That's a scary position to be in, and yeah, I'm forcing myself to do this. All right, so now I think I got the cinematics of everything dialed in. The only thing left to do is actually turn this light off and actually see how everything looks. I have my key light right here, and it's not on me yet, so I'm actually testing out everything, just seeing how the whole layout of the studio feels and give off a good vibe. So right now, studio vibes, it's kind of good. Only thing I gotta do is fix this key light and fix off, soften these shadows up, fix this side. So studio is coming together real good. Now the only thing left to do is clear this area right here, and I gotta figure out when I'm gonna paint this wall. Now, this video is sponsored by Notion. Now, every part of my 365-day plan lives in Notion. My weekly art goals, income trackers, video ideas, clients, commissions, everything, you name it, it's in Notion. And the best part is, it's not just artists. You can use this if you're journaling, planning your business, or even building a content calendar if you're creative, just like me. If you want to try the same layout I'm using, I made my art career tracker public. Now you can grab this using the link in the description below to start building your own creative art journey as well. I'm gonna be documenting the whole thing, my wins, my losses, my flops, breakthroughs, all of it is gonna be on public display for you to see. So think of this video as like a journal entry. You're on day one with me. You'll see the mess. You'll actually start to see the growth. Now, I don't know where the end looks like, but I know I don't want to fake it. So you can learn a lot in Notion. Notion has easy to use templates that you can just plug and play for your content calendar or your YouTube journey or your art journey, you name it, Notion has it. So make sure to check out the link in the description below and tell them Dynamic Pencil sent you. I shouldn't have put that together. All right, so I think I made the biggest and stupidest mistake so far when getting this whole studio together. You remember the wallpaper rolls that I just showed you? Well, I was dumb and went ahead and put together the computer, so now I have to move everything off the wall and I have to hang up the wallpaper rolls and I have to paint them. Real stupid. I don't know why I just did that. Dumb. All right, so check it out. I don't have a ladder and this table. This is the next best thing to a ladder that I have, so you just gonna have to make this work. And I'm pretty good that I don't fall on camera because I'm not editing this out. So if I fall, don't laugh, all right? I don't like how wobbly this is right now, so I'm scared as shit right now because I'm hoping I don't fall because it's straight concrete right here. Every wall starts blank. Every canvas starts empty. And before you can create something worth looking at, you have to strip away what doesn't belong. Clean the dust, smooth all the rough edges, make space for something that's new. See, this wall isn't just a wall to me. It's a reflection of where I'm at right now. Starting fresh means clearing out all the old doubts, the bad habits, the distractions, and getting ready to fill this space with something that matters. Because the way you prepare this space is the way you prepare yourself. You see, I've learned the foundation matters more than the finish. You can hang over cracks, but sooner or later, they'll always show through. And that's how it's been with my art, with my career. I kept trying to skip ahead, to rush to the part where everything looked perfect. But a year from now, when I look at this wall, I don't want to see shortcuts. I want to see the proof that I took the time to do everything right. Because this wall isn't just holding paint. It's holding every decision I made from this day forward. So finally, day 2. But before I get started, it's a few things I want to talk to you about. I mean, I think it looked pretty good so far, but hey, you let me know down in the comments how it looked and be honest. I think I can add a little more to it. All right, so some days I wonder, what if I fail? What if I just give it everything that I have, and if I fail miserably because nothing worked, then is it all for nothing? Now, I constantly think about these things, but there's a constant pressure. This voice in my head saying, you're too late. You're never going to be as good as your last art video. You should have started years ago. And to be honest, I believe that for a very, very long time. Now, honestly, I've had art supplies sit in my room for weeks untouched. And I'm not gonna lie, I shed a few tears because I was frustrated of how my life was going, because I felt that I should be farther than I am right now. I felt so many roller coaster highs and lows because it was levels that I never reached before on YouTube, but in the end, I was still struggling to make an income. But see, it's one thing in all of that. Even through all of that, I kept going because I knew deep down, I think I figured it out, what most people tend to ignore. Now, the only way to become who you want to be is to act like you've been there before. Now, be honest, does that kind of make sense? Because in my head, it kind of sounds like that. I mean, seriously, you know exactly what I'm talking about. We live in a time where artists never had it this easy before, but now artists can go viral overnight. And for most of you old school artists, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It was always frowned upon to be an artist because it was always the struggling artist effect, that if you tend to go into art, you was always pretty much guaranteed to struggle. And to be honest, it's hard not to compare yourself to others with their likes, their views. They get their prints sold out all over the place and it looks like their life is almost perfect. But here's the thing. No one ever sees the 10 years that it took for them to get there. No one sees the struggle, the heartache, the pain that we as artists go through. And to be honest, I was one of those people, always comparing myself to this artist and that artist, saying, what do they have that I don't have? But the truth is, they really make it because they're already ready for success, because opportunity, it doesn't waste time with those who are unprepared. So this year, it just isn't about proving I can sell art. It's about finally respecting my craft and really taking it serious. All right, so yeah, man, we about halfway done. I got one of the shelves moved over to this location, so I'm about to move this shelf over here. But one of the things that I thought about a lot when it came to doing this change was real simple, man. I wanted to do something that no other YouTuber has done before. It's like actually be on the journey myself and show somebody the whole process, how to start a legitimate art business from beginning to end, and all the things that you need to do it. And it don't have anything to do with a whole bunch of money. It's just like the tools that you need. It's kind of like being able to be more consistent, being able to choose the right platforms for you to where you can acquire the people that you need to sell art to. And also even things like being consistent at building up that artwork, and things as far as like while you're building up that artwork, have the right type of website or portfolio, whether that may be Wix, Squarespace, WordPress, Spotify, or Spotify website, or hell, even just Instagram. Whether just having that tangible space to where you can show off all your artwork. And not to mention the most important one of all, man, is building the email list. That's the biggest one out of all of them that nobody really talks about. So yeah, these are things that I want to talk about throughout my journey, to actually show you that I'm doing it myself and give you a direct path or guidance to where you can actually follow through exactly and do what I'm doing. Whether you want to do it while I'm doing it, or wait till I'm done and then try to implement this stuff yourself. I just wanted to do something to be able to not only help myself, but help give back to other artists that's coming up, that's looking for this type of information as well. I think honestly, another thing that's real, I never thought that it'd be real hard and intimidating and easy at the same time, is just being on camera, just talk about something that you naturally and normally know, and not having a script, not having to follow a script or anything like that. So yeah, man, that's like real kind of liberating, so to speak, to where I'm not bound by a script anymore. I could just naturally put out this content. I don't have to think about it. I could just cut the camera on and just do it. So I'm real happy about that. All right, so, and if you have a full-time job and you're trying to do art, then you'll feel where I'm coming from. See, I remember this one day, I was sitting in my car and I just got off work. And man, I'm not gonna lie, it was hot as hell that day. Man, I was tired from all the heat. And all I can remember is feeling angry. Man, I was angry as hell because my art career wasn't going how I wanted it to go. And I remember this one particular thing, man. I remember this one particular thing that just stuck in my mind that I couldn't get out of my mind. And what it was, I remember bringing up the YouTube Studio app. And all I remember is just like, I was gonna delete every video that I ever made, and I was just gonna delete my channel altogether. Now, to some of you, man, most of you probably saying, man, that's stupid as hell, man. You got thousands of subscribers. Why would you do that? I wish that I had 1,000. I wish that I had hundreds. And you're probably right. But at the same time, I was fed up with it all, man. I was just in the positions like I was stuck in a position to where it's like, man, you got a full-time job, but you're an artist. And at the same time, you creating art to have nobody buy your art, but you still slaving away. You still working. You working a job that wants you to be there. You working a job that's benefiting off your hard work, but you have nothing to benefit off of just from a simple paycheck. But I'm not gonna lie, man. I was actually struggling to make ends meet. And what pissed me off the most is I was struggling to make ends meet from a job that I felt like I shouldn't have to struggle from, driving a fuel truck. But at the same time, I was just struggling to make ends meet, and on the exact opposite end, I was struggling to make money from the craft that I love so much. Now, don't get me wrong. It was my own fault because I wasn't doing the art that I love to do. I figured I was doing the art that I feel my subscribers wanted to see me do. And at the same time, I wasn't even staying true to myself. All right, so what seems like 2 excruciating, very long 2 days, I'm finally at the finish line. I'm in the 3rd day, just basically trying to get the studio straight, trying to clean up everything. As you can see, this white part right here, I didn't get to finish it simply because of this water heater right behind me, but I'm not worried about it because that part won't be on camera, so don't worry about it. But yeah, I'm proud of it. And it may not be up to a lot of people's standards, but hey, what the hell? I like it, and that's all that matters. All right, so man, if you watched this far, man, I really appreciate you for hanging out with me and sticking with me through the process of getting this studio kind of complete. Right now, it's not fully finished. I gotta put everything in its place, kind of sweep up the floor, get things straight. Actually, put my lights in the place I need to put them in so I can get that, you know, that cinematic look that I like to get in my videos. For most of you, my day ones, you know what I'm talking about. All right, so now I finally got the studio set up. There's a few things I gotta fix up, but what you think? So, yeah, man, so there's a lot of stuff that went on for the short while I wasn't doing YouTube. Well, I would say the long while I wasn't doing YouTube. I failed because it was my fault. And it was my fault simply because I was looking for reassurance from other artists, YouTubers, people who's that's fans of my channel. I was looking for this perfect type of sign, this sign that I was looking for, just to like, okay, you're on the right path. This is exactly what you needed to do. And that's why I failed. I failed because I just wasn't being creative. I wasn't being inventive on things that inspired me, on things that made me happy. And yeah, it caused me to be in a rut. It caused me to just not want to do YouTube. It caused me to be lazy at doing YouTube because I felt that if I wasn't having any success then why bother? If people wasn't watching my video that I spent X amount of hours on, I could spend like a month on one video, and if people didn't watch it, I felt like a failure. I took a long, hard look in the mirror for a long while, and I came to the conclusion that I didn't care what people thought. I didn't care about what people thought of my videos, because being a YouTuber for me was not the goal. Being a full-time artist for me, that was everything to me. That was my lifelong dream, even as a kid, to be a full-time artist. So, and here we are. Now I'm on this journey, trying to be a full-time artist and trying to do it in 1 year, I may add. Yeah, talk about stacking a deck against yourself. But at the same time, I'm betting on myself, because if nobody is gonna bet on me, I can bet on myself. And that's all I need is to believe in myself. That's all I need. So what I did before I decided to do this video, before I decided to actually even do this, my garage, into a makeshift studio, I actually came together with this plan on how I wanted to take this journey when it comes to YouTube. So I know if I want to be a serious artist, if I want to be a full-time artist, I gotta do art. There's no earthly way around that. And I have to be consistent at doing art, no matter what it is, no matter if it's a small painting, a medium painting, whether it's digital art, no matter what it is, I have to consistently put something out. And I was always counting on YouTube to actually, to bring in people to buy my art, to bring in sales, which, don't get it twisted, which that can happen, but I depended on that heavily. Now I'm not dependent on that, simply because I'm just gonna put my head down and I'm gonna work. And after a while of working, I'm just gonna, redo my whole website, probably take it down and do another one, and just, start all the way over and start to build a email list. And that is where you really find your true audience. The true people that want to buy your art is in building an email list. So if you want access to this plan that I have, even if you're brand new, and don't worry, I'm not charging anything, it's free. But if you are a newbie and you actually trying to look for some guidance, hell, even if you are just like confused and you've been doing YouTube for a while, trying to get your art career out the ground, newbie, advanced, intermediate, it don't matter. This is for you. Now, if you're trying to figure out a path, I made a Notion template just for you. And on this template, I use it to track my whole journey. I mean, it's basically in your hands. And I'll make sure to leave that in the description below for you. And another thing, make sure you join the Patreon if that's something that you want to check out, because I'll be sharing more content, have more in-depth conversations, sharing behind the scenes content, things that I will not be posting on YouTube. And actually, I'm gonna try to go live stream at least once a month, so we can have one-on-one conversations. You can actually ask me all kinds of questions regarding my journey when it comes to the art career, regarding any question that you may have, you'll have access to me. So check this out. You don't have to be 42 to start. You don't have to be 25 or 26 or 50 or hell, even 60. You don't have to be those ages to start, but the one key thing you have to do, you have to start. So why not start together? So see you in the next video.